Question for you. Do you ever feel like or wonder, are your emotions blocking you from being able to save your marriage? This is a question I get a lot. So, are you angry? Are you sad? Are you frustrated? Are you confused? Are you embarrassed? Are you mad at yourself? Are you mad at him? Is that keeping you from saving your marriage? So, today I want to talk about this to see how we can figure this out. Do you want to know? Well, you'll have the answers by the end of this live. I'm Beth Miller. I'm a marriage coach and hypnotist, and I have helped hundreds of women save their marriages after infidelity. So what I want to do for you as well, if you're interested in learning more, feel free to put the word chat, DM, comment it, and then we're happy to give you some advice on how to move forward. So let's hop right into this. Are you in a toxic trap? That's what I would call it. So when it comes to emotions, just a little background information, because we want to figure out, are your emotions blocking your ability to save your marriage? So when it comes to emotions, emotion, energy, and motion. And so this energy in your body, whether it's really heavy, like, when you feel so heavy, that sadness, that anger can just like, oh, it's a vibration within you too. Or that happiness, that lightness. So that energy, those emotions are energy in your body. And ideally, if we have these really heavy, intense emotions in our body, that can prevent us from potentially getting what we want in our life. Because in terms of law of vibration, law of attraction, whether you believe it or not, there is a science, like attracts like. And yes, it's okay that you have some low feelings right now. That is perfectly fine. But what we want to do is move out of that toxic trap so that you can attract all that you want, so you can save your marriage. So if you've ever seen the movie Inside Out, have you ever seen that movie Inside Out? They had Inside Out come out in the last year or so. It's an amazing movie. It really puts how this all works into perspective. So essentially, imagine your body. It has all these little mini, like if I have Beth, I have all these little mini Beths in me. I have an angry Beth, I have a sad Beth, and just picture these little mini Beths all in me. An embarrassed Beth, a Beth that doesn't feel good enough, an anxious Beth, a jealousy Beth, an envy Beth. There's all these little Beths within me. And so right now I'm talking from a very empowered Beth. So the empowered Beth, the authentic Beth. But sometimes if I'm really upset, I'll be like the sad Beth. And so we want to figure out who's at the control panel. Because who's at the control panel, if it's the sad, the angry you, that potentially could be sabotaging the potential to save the marriage or slowing the ability to save a marriage down. That's why it's so important that we really clean up our emotions, get a good awareness of them. So how do you actually do this? Because releasing the low vibe emotions and shifting into the high vibe, like happiness, love, gratitude are the highest emotions out there. So how do we get there so that you can give your marriage the best chance you can? So we want to release those low ones, get into the high ones, free yourself from the emotional weights. Like you take the backpack off, that you can really work on your marriage, feeling really good and get that clarity. This is exactly what I want, or you know what, it's not safe for me to trust anymore and I'm out. So what we want to do here is start with identifying the emotions. Some women, I give them an emotion wheel. If you haven't ever seen an emotion wheel, feel free to Google it. Some have like 10 on it, some have like a gazillion little pieces to this emotion wheel. Lists every type of emotion out there. So if you're really good and in touch with your emotions, like a lot of women are, you just ask yourself, what emotion am I feeling right now? And so if it's fear, sadness, guilt, shame, resentment, allow yourself to fully acknowledge this feeling. And no feelings are wrong. Everything in your body it's there for a reason. And so what we want to do is acknowledge that. And that feeling actually came from, like, this seems crazy, but it's how we solve our marriage inside out. It's completely backwards than traditional therapy. Acknowledge the feeling, and then we want to figure out, what's the message? What's this sadness trying to tell me? So, and I'll put this out there too, what we resist will persist. So if you keep resisting trying to understand the sadness or the anger, and you might already understand it, you might know why it's there. So then we kind of move down further into how do we actually get rid of it? But you need to understand the message. So every emotion carries a message. You need to ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? For example, anger might be telling you that a boundary is being crossed, that there's boundaries being violated. And that's often what happens. Like, he's on his phone, he's not answering your questions. You're angry because a boundary is being crossed. Well, sadness might indicate that, you know what, that you need to heal more. It's like, I need to take care of myself. Maybe that's the sadness. I'm sad, I'm grieving what our marriage is. It's not what I thought it was. Who is he? Who am I? Who are we together? So there could be grief in that, but there could also, the sadness can be, you know what, I need to take control of my own happiness. And so then we want to figure out, like, how it works. Is anyone who's listened to me before, can you imagine your brain? Your brain has all these clouds in it. Some are big, white, fluffy, very happy clouds. Others are dark and heavy. And the dark, heavy ones are usually beliefs that don't serve us. Those are beliefs like, I'm not enough, I can't trust him. And the black cloud, I can't trust him, it's like it's raining down all these thoughts. I can't trust him. What's he doing? Why is he home late? Is he on his phone? Is he still talking to her? Does he have another phone? So those dark clouds, like I can't trust, in our brain are just raining down thoughts. And those thoughts then produce our emotions. So ideally what we want is big fluffy clouds. It could even be like, you know what, I choose to trust him today. I choose to trust him because we're going to have a check-in later. I check in with daily, which allows me to trust. And then you have happier thoughts, which then create emotions of peace, contentment, feeling in control. So we want to tackle that belief that's driving those emotions, because our emotions just don't come out of anywhere. I had a client yesterday, and if she's watching, I love her dearly. She's like, I'm just sad. I just started crying out of nowhere. It's no sad because. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It might feel like it's sad that there's no sadness because, but it's there for a reason. And it can even be, it doesn't necessarily have to be one incident, like one thought that triggered that sadness. It could be the day, like just being in a place of like overanalyzing, thinking about things, all these little clouds that are then kind of raining a little bit, but they add up and they just make you feel sad. This overall vibe, that emotion, that energy and motion within your body. So it comes from somewhere. It's not just random, but you're allowed to feel your feelings. Everyone can feel their feelings, but they're your feelings. Remember that. It's not like you made me angry. You made me sad. Something happened in your life that made you feel sad. It's your feeling. So it's not they made you do this. I produce this feeling, this chemical. It's a neurochemical within you that we have control of. Something in your brain turned it on, so we can turn it off. The power of thought is so important. And this is why this is the foundation of saving a marriage. Is the question really was like, are your emotions keeping you from saving your marriage? Potentially. If they're low vibe emotions, they're not serving you, they're not serving your marriage. And we have to figure out which ones feel good and you want to keep versus ones you don't. And I'm not saying no, never be sad, never be angry. You're going through a lot and those feelings are normal. So it's about processing them, understanding them, and then rewiring our thoughts so that, you know what, those thoughts don't keep coming because I am safe. I'm okay. I choose my marriage. I choose myself. That's what we need to do with this. So we identified the emotion. We are not going to resist it anymore, because if you resist that emotion, that'll keep persisting. Same with the thought. That thought will keep persisting unless we dig into the thought of like, why did this happen? How did he do this? If he really loved me, he wouldn't have done this. That thought, we need to somehow surrender, because that thought creates sadness, creates anger. So let's see here. Sorry. I wrote down, finish the following statement. Ooh, I am or I am not. That's what I do. That's a magic one. To figure out that belief, that those big clouds that are creating those thoughts, creating the emotions. So what is the big thought? It usually is I am or I am not. So if I'm trying to think of an example. He just isn't paying enough attention to you, or he's not giving you the affection you need. He's not owning his part of all this, or he's dismissing it, or he's not answering the questions you want. When he doesn't answer the questions you ask him, it means I am, finish the sentence. When he doesn't answer the questions that I need him to answer, it means I am or I am not. It means I am not loved by him. It means I am not respected. It means I am a fool for staying in a relationship with someone who doesn't. So we want to figure out what those beliefs are. So maybe there is a little bit of a belief that's like, I'm a fool, I'm not respected, I'm not loved, or I'm not loved. The belief could even be, someone who does this to me doesn't love me. So it could be something like that. Or anyway, we want to figure out the I am not heard, I am not seen, I am not in control, I am giving too much, it could be so many different I am statements. So we want to figure out the I am statement. So identify the emotion. What's the belief? The belief is, like I just said, it could be an I am not statement. It could also be I can, I can't. So I can, I can't, I do, I don't. So I can't do anything about the situation. I won't, this is going to be an empowering one. Like, I won't let someone walk on me like this, walk all over me like this. So from there, we want to shift. This is where identification is like, wow, you just did it. This is step one. We've identified the emotion. We know what the belief is. And now we just have to change it. Because if you change your belief, now you can't just change it to anything. You got to change it to something that you truly believe in, something that feels safe to believe in. From there, that's when we start to get our freedom. And that's when we can give your marriage the best shot you possibly can, because you're in such a good place. Apologize. So we got to shift the awareness and reframe. And you've often heard like traditional talk therapists will be like, let's reframe that thought. So I had a client earlier today, so lovely. She's like, I've been in pain for, we could just say like, I've been in pain for a year. I can't climb out of this hole. I can't climb out of this hole. That's her belief. I can't climb out of this hole. And so we want to start to, as traditional therapy would say, let's frame it. So every time you catch it, you'd say, I've been in pain for a year. It feels like I can't climb out of the hole, but I can climb out of the hole. So in therapy, traditional talk therapy, then you would just say that over and over and over again. I feel like I've been here for a year. Feels like I can't climb out of the hole, but I know I can. Well, I just want to get to it. I just want to get us in a really deeply relaxed state. And what we do in this hypnosis state is we go back to a time where you felt like you were in so much pain that you could never climb out of the hole. And so we go back to past times that have formed these beliefs. And then what happens is we start to free ourselves from it. It's like in this relaxed state, it's like we bring in our true true authentic voice, the voice that's like, you can do it, the cheerleader, then we help her and be like, you know what, I know how hard things have been in the past. It's like you talk to her. I know how, and we help you with this. I know how hard things have been in the past, but we can do this. We can do this together. One step, climb one rung of the ladder at a time. You can get out of this. You choose to get out of this. You don't want to stay here anymore. And so we really dig into it. So it's not just reframe on a conscious level, on a subconscious level. So on a conscious level, like if you want to do some work right now on it, this low vibe emotion often comes from that limiting belief that I just said. And what happens is like, I can't get out of this. I can't get out of this. It loops, and then we have 60,000 thoughts a day. And a lot of times it's the same thoughts of, I can't trust him. I can't trust him. I'm not enough. I'm a fool for staying. I'm not lovable. I can't get him to open up. Those keep looping, and they just keep reinforcing. And that's what we don't want to do, because that's how we change who we actually are. And we're not operating under the same thought patterns that we used to, the happier thought patterns, which came from happier thoughts. So we want to then challenge them by asking, is this actually true? Can I not get out of this hole? Can I actually not get out of the hole? Is that true? You know what? It's not true. I can. It's not easy, but I can get out of this hole. So what is the higher perspective that you choose? And like I just said, I can get out of this hole. So anyway, long way of saying that from, instead of thinking I can never trust again, we change it to, I'm learning to trust myself. I am learning to trust him today. I choose to trust him today. It's not like I choose to trust him. It's too big. Your mind won't adopt it. It'll just go right back into too many thoughts, too many emotions. It's overwhelming. There's anxiety. Instead, it's like, I choose to trust today, or I choose to trust myself. It's safe to trust today. And that's what we're rewiring on a subconscious level, not just telling ourselves that every single day. So how do you actually do this? I talked about the one, like we use hypnosis. We use these beautiful audio hypnosis tracks. They're like these beautiful journeys into your subconscious mind, where it's like, go to a time where you experience this, and just gently you see it, and you don't relive trauma or triggers, but it's like you close that chapter. You're like, that was in the past and it's not informing my today. Other things are breath work, like just some breathing in and out. And that's a common one that often gets given to people. It's breathing in for 4, hold for 4, and then out for 4, and then stop. So you just repeat that process, and even breathing in and out for 60 seconds. 60 seconds, it's not that long, can really calm a nervous system. Another strategy is gratitude, 60 seconds. Because like, remember what I said, gratitude, like what I said about, remember we have all these clouds. So if you have a cloud, a gratitude cloud, that's like, I am so thankful for my family. That's one big fluffy cloud. I am grateful for the sunshine today. Big fluffy cloud. And so remember what I said about these clouds, these beliefs we have, like I can't trust my husband, dark cloud, raining, thunderstorming. A nice light one is like, I love my family. Beautiful rain, which creates beautiful emotions. So same thing, if you do a gratitude statement, I'm happy about my life, I'm thankful for the flowers I was given yesterday, or I'm thankful I got to spend time with my mom. What we then do with those is it creates nice emotions in our body, desirable emotions, good emotions, energy, emotion in our body. Do that for 60 seconds. All of a sudden your body is flooded with neurochemicals that are happier, joyful, peaceful, light. So gratitude is very important. That's a quick way to change your nervous system into feeling better. So we have the hypnosis that we talked about. We have breath work. We have movement is really good. Sorry, we had the gratitude statements. Movement is really good. Like we said, like I used to go for a long run, and that long run, again, we're releasing energy, but we're also releasing some of those emotions too. That energy comes out of our body. We're shifting the energy in our body. Hypnotherapy, journaling, writing out feelings is really good. So these are some strategies that you can use even without doing the hypnosis. And so what happens is when you do these therapies, then, or these strategies, we get to a place where you're like, you know what, I'm not allowing my emotions to sabotage saving my marriage. I'm in a place where I can replace those low vibes with high vibes. I release the low vibes to replace it with high vibes, which then is so playful and joyful and such a nice, freeing state, peaceful state to be. And then the more you stay in that state of having those new fluffy clouds that have those beautiful beliefs of, I can choose to trust today, I am safe, I am not scared, I know I'll be okay. When we have those big fluffy beliefs, we have the beautiful rain, nice warm rain of those thoughts that then produce those beautiful emotions, which means then your emotions aren't keeping you from blocking your marriage. You're giving the best shot you can to your marriage. So if you found this helpful, let me know. If you want to chat with myself or anyone on our team, just put the word chat in, and we're happy. We do this all the time. We give some free strategies. We're happy to do that. So put the word chat, DM or comment, and we're happy to help you navigate, whether it's trust or communication or ruminating thoughts, whatever you're going through, we got you. And we'll talk to everyone soon. Bye.